The historic Victorian mansion in the Boston suburbs boasted an impressive facade, but inside, time had left its mark everywhere. The squeaking floorboards in the grand entryway, the faint remnants of soot clinging to the marble fireplace, and the smooth depressions worn into the ornate banister rails filled me with a sense of connection to the past. Every imperfection told a story that I, Eleanor Foster, treasured deeply. Sophia, breakfast. I called from the kitchen, my voice echoing through the high ceilings as I poured orange juice into a crystal glass that had belonged to my mother. My tall frame moved with purpose around the kitchen, my chestnut hair loosely secured in a messy bun while I frantically reviewed the preservation proposal papers scattered across the counter. Mom, the clouds look like old buildings with towers and secret passages. 7-year-old Sophia exclaimed from the bay window, her eyes wide with wonder. She had always possessed that remarkable ability to see historical patterns in architecture where others saw only mundane shapes. They do look fascinating, sweetheart, but we're running behind schedule today. Your father has his investors meeting too, I said, my stomach clenched slightly at the mention of Nathan. Nathan descended the stairs, coffee mug in hand, every inch the polished executive. His tailored suit emphasized his commanding height, and that calculated smile, the one that charmed wealthy developers, was firmly in place. I have an important meeting with investors this weekend about the Harborfront project. If it goes through, it'll be transformative for the company, Nathan declared while ruffling Sophia's hair. My little architect, when I return from my business trip, I promise to bring you something spectacular, he said to Sophia. Sophia gazed up at her father with conflicted eyes. Really? Nathan winked at our daughter. I methodically arranged the table settings, that familiar knot of unease tightening in my chest. Nathan had been acting increasingly secretive lately. Small changes in his behavior had become more pronounced, particularly during these 4 months since my mother Evelyn's death. How's the campaign coming along to save the Rialto Theater? Nathan asked, his tone falsely casual. The Preservation Committee meets tomorrow for the final proposal, I answered, unable to hide my passion despite my anxiety. This Art Deco masterpiece represents one of the last untouched theatrical spaces from the 1930s. We can't let it become another glass tower, I said. My expertise in historical architecture preservation had earned respect throughout Boston's conservation community. My dedication to saving significant buildings had been unwavering since childhood, when I'd accompany my mother to preservation rallies. Sometimes this commitment overshadowed family obligations, which occasionally sparked Nathan's resentment. By the way, Mother called, Nathan mentioned offhandedly. She's expecting us at her charity gala this weekend. I suppressed a heavy sigh. My mother-in-law Vivian Foster, the formidable former real estate magnate, maintained a veneer of sophisticated courtesy that barely concealed her controlling nature and unhealthy attachment to her son. To Vivian, Nathan represented the perfect heir to her development empire, while I was the misguided preservationist who'd somehow entrapped him. I see, I replied with forced neutrality. Sophia might enjoy seeing her grandmother, I said. In truth, Sophia harbored complicated feelings toward her grandmother. Vivian's affection came with stringent conditions, doled out only when Sophia conformed to her outdated notions of how a proper young lady should behave. After Nathan departed for work, the old house settled into a heavy stillness that amplified every creak. I sat cross-legged on the polished hardwood floor of my study, surrounded by cardboard boxes containing my mother's research papers, architectural drawings, and personal effects. My fingers traced the faded labels as I contemplated the substantial inheritance, primarily this historic mansion itself, though I hadn't decided yet how to allocate the resources toward preservation efforts. Mom, look what I found. Sophia burst into my study clutching something in her small hands. The floorboards protested under her excited footsteps. Her eyes sparkled with discovery as she carefully presented an aged sepia photograph. Oh my, this is a picture of Grandma Evelyn and me at the Beacon Hill Preservation Rally when I was about your age. I gently took the fragile image, my throat tightening as I gazed at my mother's determined expression. Do you miss Grandma? Sophia asked, her perceptive eyes studying my face. I nodded wordlessly, not trusting my voice. Grandma showed me the hidden papers in my dream last night, Sophia announced suddenly. What do you mean? I asked, startled by the specific nature of her statement. It's a special secret about the house. Sophia's expression grew mysteriously solemn. She said Daddy doesn't want us to find them, she continued. I attempted to rationalize her words as typical childhood imagination, though something about her certainty unsettled me. That evening, Nathan called unexpectedly. I've decided to leave before dawn tomorrow morning. I need additional time to prepare my presentation for the harborfront investors. His voice sounded unusually tense. I understand, I replied, anxiety fluttering in my chest like a trapped bird. During dinner, Sophia picked at her food in uncharacteristic silence. Her gaze repeatedly drifted to the window overlooking the garden, her small features creased with a worry that seemed incongruous on a child's face. What's troubling you, sweetheart? I pressed my palm against her forehead, checking for fever. I saw Daddy and Grandma Vivian having a secret phone call in his study, Sophia whispered, her voice barely audible. They were looking at papers with our house on them. They stopped talking when they saw me walking past, she explained. A chill ran through me at my daughter's words before I reminded myself of her vivid imagination. Your father has many business calls about properties, Sophia. Many buildings look similar in blueprints. Now it's time for bed, I said with forced lightness. After tucking Sophia in, I retreated to my study intending to finalize my presentation for the Rialto Theater Preservation Committee. Despite my efforts, I couldn't focus on the architectural details that normally captivated me. Instead, I found myself staring through the antique leaded windows into the darkness, consumed by a growing dread that felt strangely substantiated rather than merely imagined. Nathan left at dawn, much earlier than his usual departure time. While organizing my preservation documents for the Rialto presentation, I noticed Sophia standing rigidly by the bay window. An unusual tension ran through her small frame as she remained completely still, her forehead pressed against the glass, behavior starkly different from her typically energetic explorations of the house. Sophia, what are you watching for? I approached cautiously, troubled by her stillness. Sophia turned with deliberate slowness, her face unnaturally pale. Her eyes held a disturbing wisdom that sent a chill through me. I'm waiting for the men to come, she stated with eerie certainty. What men? I asked, forcing a reassuring smile while anxiety crept along my spine. I'm not sure, but Mom, Sophia hesitated, her voice dropping to a whisper. Do you know about great-grandmother's hidden passage behind the library wall? I froze mid-step. The architectural assessment I'd commissioned after inheriting the property had indeed mentioned a concealed servants' corridor dating to the 1890s, but it had supposedly been sealed during renovations in the 1940s. I was absolutely certain I'd never discussed this feature with Sophia. Sophia, how do you know about that passage? Grandma Evelyn showed me in my dream. She said it's a safe path when dangerous people come. She showed me how to find the lever behind the third bookcase, Sophia explained with unsettling precision. My professional interest in historical architecture battled with maternal concern. The renovation blueprints had indeed identified a sealed passage, but it should have been completely inaccessible and unknown to a 7-year-old. Yes, many historic homes have service corridors like that. But they were sealed up long ago during modernization, I explained, struggling to maintain my composure. Are you sure? Sophia's voice carried a hint of challenge. While preparing dinner that evening, my phone rang. Seeing Vivian's name illuminate the screen made my stomach tighten reflexively. Hello, Vivian, I answered with manufactured brightness. Eleanor, has Nathan departed yet? Vivian's voice carried an unusual edge of urgency. Yes, he left before sunrise this morning. He should have reached the conference center hours ago, I said. I see. A weighted silence followed before she continued. Please have him contact me immediately when you hear from him. We have an urgent matter regarding the harborfront acquisition. Of course. Is something wrong with the project? I probed carefully. Nothing at all. Just business details. Vivian's voice suddenly chilled. And how is my granddaughter doing? She asked. She's fine, though unusually quiet today, I replied. Children perceive far more than adults credit them for, Vivian interrupted, her words hanging ominously between us. I'll be in touch again shortly. Then I hung up the phone. Moments after ending the call, I heard the distinctive purr of an expensive engine idling outside. Peering through the window, I spotted a man in a dark suit methodically circling our property, occasionally consulting what appeared to be a tablet device. His practice movements suggested professional training. Sophia, I called urgently, hurrying to the living room. Let's stay inside today and work on some architectural drawings together, I said. That night, when I attempted to settle Sophia in her bedroom, she clutched my arm desperately. I need to sleep in your room tonight. Not here, she said. What's wrong, sweetheart? Did you have another dream? I asked, trying to mask my growing concern. Sophia shook her head emphatically. Daddy and Grandma Vivian are planning something terrible. I heard them talking when they thought I was playing outside. My blood turned cold at her words. Sophia, honey, I'm sure you misunderstood something, I said. No. Sophia's voice strengthened with conviction. I found blueprints of our house in Daddy's desk drawer. All the walls were marked with red X's, and he was looking at the security system plans while telling Grandma perfect timing on the phone, she explained. Despite my attempts to rationalize, Sophia's unwavering certainty and specific details ignited a primal fear within me. All right, you can sleep with me tonight, but tomorrow we need to have a serious conversation about this, I said to her. After Sophia finally drifted to sleep beside me, I tried calling Nathan repeatedly. Each attempt connected to voicemail after several rings. My growing unease prompted me to send multiple text messages, all of which remained unanswered. I picked up a framed photograph of my mother Evelyn, tracing her determined features with my fingertip. Had she sensed something about Nathan? Recently, while sorting through her research archives, I discovered a notebook containing the cryptic entry, concerned about N's involvement in the Westridge demolition scandal. Evidence suggests deliberate structural undermining. Shortly before midnight, my phone illuminated with a message from Nathan, returning early tomorrow morning. We need to discuss the future of your mother's property. We gotta make critical decisions. I couldn't sleep, Sophia's warnings haunting my thoughts. My daughter's vivid imagination had always been remarkable, but lately her certainty felt unsettling. I crept through the darkened house to Nathan's office. The door stood uncharacteristically ajar. Inside, architectural plans appeared normal at first glance, but when I tried the typically locked cabinet, it opened easily. A folder labeled Evelyn Tracy Property Development, Confidential, contained shocking plans to demolish her historic home for luxury condominiums. The projected profit was $4.2 million if the preservation obstacle was resolved. My God, I whispered, my blood turning cold. Sophia's warnings suddenly seemed terrifyingly real. I pocketed a hidden USB drive just before hearing a vehicle outside. Through the blinds, I saw men in dark clothing examining the house gas lines. Dawn broke after a restless night. The clock read 5:15 a.m. as I heard the front door unlock and multiple footsteps enter. Sophia's small hand suddenly gripped my arm with surprising strength. Mommy, her voice trembled urgently. We have to get out right now. Why, sweetie? I whispered. Daddy's going to destroy the house with us inside, Sophia whispered, tears forming. Grandma Evelyn showed me in my dream. It's happening today, she explained. Despite my rational doubts, I trusted my preservation instincts that had never failed me. Okay, I decided, grabbing my emergency bag. Get dressed silently, I said to her. I packed essentials while Sophia grabbed her sketchbook. Heavy footsteps approached, followed by Nathan's voice. Sophia, your father's here. Should we talk to him? I suggested, trying to appear calm. No, Sophia insisted vehemently. Daddy and Grandma Vivian want us gone to change the historical protection. I heard him say once we're gone, everything becomes developable property. He's making it look like an accident with the gas lines, she explained desperately. The development plans flashed through my mind alongside my mother's suspicious death. Let's go down the back stairs, I whispered to Sophia. Halfway down, we overheard Nathan's coldly professional voice. Is the system configured properly? He demanded. Gas has been flowing 20 minutes. Security system ready for remote activation, another voice responded. I tried the kitchen door. It wouldn't budge. They've locked everything from outside, Sophia said with eerie calm. The smell of gas grew stronger as electronic beeps sounded throughout the house. Metal shutters descended over every window and door. Sophia. I fought rising panic as I realized we were trapped. Follow me. I know the way out, Sophia said with remarkable composure. There's a hidden passage behind the bookcase, she said. In my mother's study, Sophia pulled a specific leather-bound volume. A section of the bookcase swung inward, revealing a narrow passage. Grandma Evelyn showed me in my dreams, Sophia explained matter-of-factly. The unmistakable sound of gas ignition clicked somewhere in the house. You go first, I urged Sophia into the dark corridor. The narrow passage was clearly original to the home's 1887 construction. Are you okay, Mummy? Sophia asked, showing focused determination rather than fear. The passage sloped downward beneath the ground floor. It comes out in the old carriage house, Sophia said confidently. A muffled explosion shook dust from the ceiling as we crawled through narrow sections. Finally, we reached an iron door that opened into what was now a garden shed. Outside, the cool morning air felt like salvation as we watched flames consuming our historic home. We need to get to Juliet's, Sophia said decisively. I embraced her tightly. You saved our lives, I said. Sophia looked up with eyes too knowing for her 7 years. Grandma Evelyn is protecting us. She knew Daddy would hurt us because of the house, she said. We rushed to Juliet Chen's nearby apartment. Juliet was organizing artifacts when frantic knocking interrupted her work. Opening the door, she found us covered in dust and soot, our expressions frozen in terror. Eleanor. What happened? Juliet pulled us inside, her meticulous nature instantly giving way to concern. Call the police, my voice broke. Nathan tried to kill us. He rigged our house with gas and locked us in, I said. Despite the shocking accusation, Juliet immediately reached for her phone. Through her window, black smoke billowed over the treetops as sirens wailed closer. By the time authorities arrived, flames had consumed significant portions of the historic Foster residence. While firefighters battled the blaze, officers took statements from us. Ma'am, that's an extremely serious allegation, said a detective with salt and pepper hair. Do you have evidence? He asked. My hands trembled as I showed him my phone. I found these documents on Nathan's laptop last night. Development plans showing millions in profit if the house was no longer historically protected, something that requires my signature while I'm alive. The detective frowned. This suggests motive, but we need more, he said. Sophia overheard conversations too, I said, touching Sophia's shoulder. Sophia spoke with surprising clarity. Daddy told Grandma Vivian that once we were gone, the preservation designation could be challenged and everything would become developable. He mentioned making it look like an accident with the gas lines. When did you hear this? The detective asked, kneeling to her level. 4 days ago outside his office. After the call, he was studying our house blueprints with red markings. He kept saying the security upgrades were complete, she explained. By afternoon, the investigation shifted dramatically when the fire inspector announced his findings. This was sophisticated arson. The gas line was deliberately tampered with, and the security system modified for remote lockdown. Someone wanted this to appear accidental, they reported. Nathan's investor meeting alibi collapsed when his assistant confirmed no such meeting existed. By evening, authorities apprehended him at a private airstrip. His laptop contained incriminating development plans and offshore account details. I'm being framed, Nathan shouted during questioning. This was all my mother's idea. Vivian, arrested at her country club, initially maintained composure until learning Nathan had implicated her. That spineless disappointment. She hissed venomously. The investigation revealed Nathan's gambling debts, failing career, and affair with a rival developer's daughter. He's been living a complete fog, the detective explained. Your mother's death and your inheritance accelerated his plans, he said. Most shocking was the digital evidence recovered from Evelyn Tracy's computer, documents showing she'd been gathering evidence of Nathan's illegal activities just days before her suspicious heart attack. One note read, Nathan approached me about investing in demolishing the Palmer Theater. I've found evidence of bribery and permit fraud that I'm compiling for authorities. 6 months later, the trial began after meticulous evidence collection. Prosecutors revealed damning digital and physical evidence, including incriminating email exchanges between Nathan and Vivian. The defendant plotted to kill his family for real estate development profit, the prosecutor declared with restrained fury. He installed security systems specifically designed to trap and murder, destroying both his family and irreplaceable architecture. Nathan initially claimed mental stress before suddenly blaming his mother entirely. Vivian controlled everything, he insisted, his confident facade cracking. This backfired spectacularly when Vivian testified. I dedicated everything to Nathan's real estate career, she stated coldly. Eleanor's preservation work threatened our plans. That historic pile was worth millions as development land. Her chilling testimony stunned the courtroom. 7-year-old Sophia provided the most powerful testimony, describing with uncanny poise how her grandmother Evelyn had shown her the escape route in dreams. She came in my dreams and showed me the secret door. She warned me Daddy would hurt Mommy because of the old buildings, she said. The courtroom fell silent, jurors visibly moved by the child's inexplicable foreknowledge that saved 2 lives. After 4 hours of deliberation, both defendants were convicted. Nathan received 20 years, Vivian 12. Outside, I hugged Sophia tightly. You saved us both. Your connection to Grandma Evelyn protected us when we needed it most, I said to her. Are we alone now? Sophia asked with wise eyes. We have each other, I smiled through tears. And Grandma Evelyn still watches over us. We walked hand in hand toward our future, leaving betrayal behind. On a crisp autumn afternoon, I stood at the bay window of our restored carriage house, watching crimson leaves dance across the Evelyn Tracy Historic Preservation Center grounds. Our modest Victorian home sat on what was once my mother's property. Though smaller than our previous residence, these walls held warmth I'd never known before. Mom, look! Sophia burst through the door, thrusting forward a detailed drawing. Professor Winters chose my design for the Conservation Society exhibition. I examined her intricate rendering of 3 women before a restored theater, myself, Sophia, and unmistakably, my mother Evelyn. It's beautiful. Grandma would be so proud, I said. Sophia smiled warmly. I'm grateful I trusted her warning that day, she said. Me too, I whispered, embracing her tightly. Sophia had shown remarkable resilience this past year, helped by Dr. Morrison's expertise with intuitive children. She'd flourished at her new school while developing her architectural talent. I'd established the Evelyn Tracy Foundation, using Mother's estate to fund preservation throughout New England. Did you name the education program? Sophia asked. Heritage Pathways, Creating Futures by Honoring Our Architectural Past, I said. Meanwhile, Nathan remained isolated in prison, his appeals rejected as he maintained. This case was fabricated through my wife's preservation hysteria. The relationship between Nathan and Vivian had completely disintegrated after his betrayal in court. Vivian, once Boston's development matriarch, now lived in disgrace, muttering, everything was for his future. Recently, I discovered Mother's overlooked journal documenting. It said, Nathan approached requesting investment in Westridge demolition. Declined after uncovering financial irregularities. Meeting with authorities scheduled. This entry dated 9 days before her heart failure led to reopening her case. Tonight, on Mother's death anniversary, our home glowed with warmth as Dr. Morrison joined us for dinner, his role evolving from professional support to something more. Mom, what makes a genuine family? Sophia asked by the fireplace. Not genetics, but genuine care and supporting each other's growth. Sophia nodded wisely, then asked, what about Dr. Morrison? Could he join our family? Dr. Morrison and I exchanged meaningful glances. That's something we're beginning to explore, he answered sincerely. As the first snowflakes fell outside, I held Sophia close, feeling her heartbeat against mine. Step by step, we were building something precious from betrayal's ruins, preserving not just historic architecture, but the foundations of trust, courage, and love.